Welcome viewers, my name is Chris and you are watching me at my YouTube channel ThinkEduEra or at my Facebook page at the rate ThinkEduEra Learning. Viewers, we are at the home page of ThinkEduEra and you can watch the learnings which we will be offering in the future to everyone, covering the students, new learners, the professionals, and the people who are into their own businesses. So apart from this, we would be offering various consulting services, which is will be related to the business development, investment, career counseling. We would also be working towards the social responsibility, and this is one related to that where I am sharing, or I should say that we are sharing our knowledge with the broad viewers to make the India as a skilled population. And with that, we are trying to create these learning videos and trying to share with all of you. If you would like to know more about our channel, you can go through with our vision, mission, and the goal statement. Let's move on. Viewers, you are able to see on your screen the framework which we use at ThinkEduEra. Let's move on. Viewers, before we start the today's topic, let's have a quick recap of chapter 3. Okay, the reason I have been keeping these recaps for previous video so that you can correlate that how we are moving forward. In the last video, if you remember, I had discussed about the formula and function in Excel and the importance of operators into it. When I post this video on YouTube, I got one of the comment from the viewer that, sir, please prepare a video first of all on the Vlookup and Hlookup functions. So since I am in the journey of in our last video we had discussed about the formula and functions, and I had already discussed with all of you about the type of functions. Though I wanted to cover this reference functions at the later stage, but based on the viewer's request. So today I am going to discuss about the reference functions into Excel, and this reference function is also called as a lookup functions, and we popularly known them as VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So viewers, if you are watching my video today, please like, share and subscribe, with whom all of the people who are into this industry, who use Excel much in their daily work, because this video is going to be very useful, and I would say it will be one for all. When I say one for all, it means if you don't know anything about how do we use HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, don't worry about that. I will tell you from the start till the end, and this video would be helpful to the beginners, to the students, even to the professionals, because I would be covering this topic in very much detail today. And as our skill framework says, that we always talk about the concept first, then we come to the tools and techniques, and then finally with the documentation, and then we may discuss about the value or the outcome, how we can take the benefit out of it. So viewers, let's move on. Okay, viewers, so we are on our chapter 4 today on the concept talk. Of course, we are in the Excel application MS Office Mastering in Excel series. So we would continue with that. And today's topic would be based on lookup functions. And in under lookup function, these are two main functions which is widely used. One is Vlookup and another is Hlookup. So we would be covering the lookup concept first, and then we will be covering the Vlookup and Hlookup functions together. Okay, viewers. So first of all, just go through with this definition. This may be little, this may seem little complicated. However, don't worry about that. Chris is here to explain you this definition in a different way so that all of you would understand the lookup concept forever and about the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And I can bet on that if you will watch this video till end, you would be very clear, very crisp, very concisely. You will understand these concepts and you will have no further confusion about the lookup functions into the Excel. Though when we talk about the concept covers the broader definition because this definition may be applicable somewhere else as well, but however we are talking from the Excel point of view today. Okay, viewers, so let's just read out this definition. So lookup function, as name suggests, looks for a corresponding value, and that value may be any kind in the child table based on the search value in the master table. So viewers, you are, I hope that you are able to correlate there. In this definition, there is a talking point of a master table and a child table. So basically, there are two tables related to that to use the lookup functions. Finally, it stops where first instance of search is found or matched in the child table and return the corresponding search value in the master table for the specified column or rows. So guys, viewers, this definition may seem little technical and it is related to a database concept that it talks about the master table, it talks about the child table, it talks about the the reference value, it talks about the corresponding value, and then it talks about the return value of it. So don't worry about that. I am going to explain you in a much simpler, easy way about this. Okay, so before we move on to understand the lookup, what lookup is and how do we use the lookup, we need to understand what is the prerequisite, what all do we need to have before using the lookup functions. And if you viewers, if you understand these things, these concepts clearly, then probably when you will use these functions in practical, it will be a cake, a piece of cake, as we say. Okay, wow. So let's go through this prerequisite of the lookup functions. First of all, we need to have two tables. As the definition says, definition already talked about the master table and child table. So there must be at least two tables. One is called as a master table and another called is a type, another table may be called as a child table. And why do we call them, we'll discuss about that. And the child table may be one, maybe more than one. It means there at least two table is required. However, there may be more than two tables which needs to be combined into one master table. So the function where, so in order to use, okay, let's look at these points first and then I'll clarify a little later. Let's look at the second point now. In order to use the lookup function, and there must be a unique column. So what it is saying is, when you want to use a lookup function, you should have a unique column or a unique row. And when we will discuss this with the concept of VLOOKUP, we need a unique column because VLOOKUP is always works as vertical, and we'll discuss that. Don't worry about that. And second thing is, or a unique row if you want to use a HLOOKUP function, which is horizontal lookup. Don't worry about these two functions now, we will discuss about them. Third point, which is a prerequisite, master table is the table. Which table is known as a master table and why do we call it a master table? So here is the answer. Master table is the table where lookup function is applied to pull some relevant information which is available in the child table at present, and we will pick that information from the child table and we will merge it into the master table to create a broader table. And that's why this table where we use and apply this function to look up some value in the child table and pick up that corresponding value of that lookup value into the master table. So that's why this table, the primary table, is known as a master table. Now let's talk about the child table. What is the child table? Child table is the table where lookup function acts to find search value and return the corresponding value from this table. So this table is basically a subset of the data. This child table is the subset of the master data, which is a piece of information which is, collected, worked separately. However, now it needs to be merged with the master table. So this subset of data table is known as a child table. Okay, let's move on. Lookup function look for a search value from the master table. So there is a value, right? In the master table there are some values, and for which we look the value in the child table is known as a lookup value, and that lookup value has to have in both the tables. And that's why we talk about that, this unique concept, and we'll come to that about that. So lookup function look for a search value from the master table, and it stops at the first instance where search record is matched or found in the child table and return the corresponding value in the master table based on the specified columns. If you are using a VLOOKUP, then it will be a specified column, and if you are using a HLOOKUP, then it will be a specified rows. So means in a lookup function, you you give the command to the function based on some values in the master table, that is called as a lookup value, and then you go with this lookup value, this function go to the child table, search for this lookup value in that child table, and if it is found, and if it does not found, it returns, it come back and returns an error code, so that the user know that this value doesn't exist in the child table. However, if that value is found, and it always look for a first instance of that lookup value. So let's say if in a master table there is a value 100 as a roll number, and we are searching this roll number in child table, and that roll number exists more than once. This lookup function, whether it's a HLOOKUP or it's a VLOOKUP, it will go in that table, start looking for that roll number, and it will stop when it will found its first instance. It will not continue for look for it. If it found the value, it will stop there and there, and then it will see that according to this and which correspondence column it needs to pick up the value and return it to the main table, which is the master table. So this is how it works. Now there are two types of commonly used function are lookup function. They are VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So there are two kind of lookup functions, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. The lookup functions are type of reference function. I already told you that these VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions are comes in the category of reference functions into the Excel, and in if you compare with some other language, you can correlate it with that also. But we are just restricting as of now with the context of MS Excel. Okay, now let's discuss about this VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Don't worry, yet we have not reached out to our demonstration session. So don't worry that we have not discussed anything about these two functions, how we can understand the functions. So we understood the broader concept of lookup function, that for to utilize the lookup function, user has to have two table at least. There may be more than two tables. One table would be known as a master table. Why we are calling it as master table? Because we are collecting the information from sub tables or the child tables into this table. We are collecting and creating a data set as a master table. That's why, as a master data set, that's why we are calling it as a master table. And all the function, whether it's a vlookup or a hlookup, will be applied into the master table, and it will go to the the child table, and then it will look for that value in the child table, pick up the corresponding column value or a corresponding row value based on the type of function you are using, and then it will come back and return that value to the master table. So that's about these two tables. The only Okay, now let's just look at how the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions are different. So I'll tell you that one by one. So first of all, let's talk about the syntax. The syntax of these two functions is quite similar. However, it only differs in few aspects. If you just look at this, so VLOOKUP, so equal to VLOOKUP, and this is what we call the syntax. Equal to, then function name, bracket opens, and then you remember the references, the operators, the parameters. These are the references and the parameters. So for very first thing is as a parameter or operator is our lookup. First parameter of to the function is a lookup value. I told you that for what value we want to pick up, look the value in the child table and then pick up the corresponding value. That parameter in the vlookup function and hlookup function both is called as a vlookup, is a lookup value. The second table thing is a table array. Table array is nothing, the child table, which I just told you that the secondary table, the sub data tables, maybe one table, maybe more than one table. That's why I'm calling it as tables. So these sub data sets is known as a child table, and in the syntax of the function, it is known as a table array. Table array is nothing but a child table. Don't worry about that. The third thing is the column index number. In the vlookup function, you see the third parameter is named as a column index number, and if you look the syntax of the hlookup, it is written as a row index number. So I told you that vlookup function, I'll go in detail, but in the VLOOKUP function, you always give the column reference of the, because when we are working with the VLOOKUP function, VLOOKUP always search vertically. So, and I'll tell you that when you use VLOOKUP, when you use HLOOKUP, many people are not aware about that. What is the difference? How do you identify that? Where do you use VLOOKUP? Where do you use HLOOKUP? But in the VLOOKUP function, the third parameter is a column reference number, column index number, and in the HLOOKUP, it's a row reference number. And you look at the fourth parameter, which is under these brackets. So whenever you see this big bracket in any of the function, it means that these are optional parameter. What it means is that for VLOOKUP there are three mandatory parameters, which is the lookup value, table array, column index number in VLOOKUP, or row index number in HLOOKUP, and the fourth parameter, which is under these brackets, big brackets, they are optional parameter. Means user may not required to use them. If user wants to use them, you can use them, or Excel will use the default value for them. Okay, so this is the syntax. So syntax of both the function is quite similar. The only difference is when you want to search the value in a vertically aligned table, and I'll tell you about that, what is vertically aligned table, what is horizontally aligned table, so that you look at the data tables and you will identify it, and you will come to know that okay, this table is data is aligned vertically, so I will go and use VLOOKUP. Okay, this table is aligned in a horizontal format, so I'll go and use the HLOOKUP function to get the value. Okay, so the syntax is little different, name of the function is different, and the parameter of the both the function different. Only one parameter is different. In VLOOKUP you use a column reference number, index number, and in the HLOOKUP function you use row index number. Let's move on, viewers. The second difference in these two functions is, let's understand, we are understanding it conceptually, not practically. Once you understand this conceptually, practical will be a peak of, the piece of cake. Okay, so lookup and search method. Now I am going to discuss that how these two functions, lookup value in the child tables based on the lookup value in the master table, and how they perform. What is their search method? Okay, let's see it here. So VLOOKUP is used in a data set which is arranged in vertical, like column format. Like, when I am saying that, your data table is aligned or scheduled or prepared as vertically aligned, it means that your columns, your fields are, populated into the columns, and your record is prepared by the rows. So if your record is getting prepared by a row, then you understand that your data, your columns or the fields or the headers are assigned to the columns, and then these columns put together makes a record, and a single row makes a record, and in a database term we call it tuple. Okay, so let's not go into that, but just understand that. So if you have a data table like that, that your headers into the columns, your columns into the headers, or fields into the column headers, and then your record is getting prepared using those single rows, then you understand that in this kind of tables you will always use VLOOKUP function, because VLOOKUP function always use details vertically. It start from top and start, keep going down till the time it found the value, lookup value, or it reaches to the end of the table. And if reaches to the end of the table and does not find the value, it come back and generate an error code. I will prepare a separate video on error code, because there are many people who don't know how to handle the error codes or error handling, we call it, into the Excel. And that is really really important, because sometimes it looks weird when these error codes are visible into your data sets. Doesn't look good. Okay, so I'll deal with it separately. So we were looking at the method. So this is how the VLOOKUP function used. However, if we look at the HLOOKUP function, what HLOOKUP function does is, HLOOKUP is used in a data set which is arranged horizontally. So we understood the vertically aligned data, that your fields and columns or headers are assigned to the the column headers, and your row creates the records, then you will use VLOOKUP. Now comes to the HLOOKUP. If your data is horizontally aligned, what does it mean, the horizontally aligned? Horizontally aligned means that your headers are in rows, your headers, fields, or the column, the row, the headers are aligned in the rows, and your one column represent one record or one tuple. Then you will call this kind of data arrangement as the horizontally aligned table, and I will show you that, don't worry about that. So if you are aware, first of all you need to look at your data, see if it is a vertical table or it is a horizontal table. Very simple terms. If it is a vertical table, you will go and apply VLOOKUP. If it is a horizontally aligned table, you will go and apply HLOOKUP. Hope it is clear now. Let's move on. Then there is a table setup, lookup style. VLOOKUP search vertically in columns. I told you already. It stops where first match is found. So it start looking from the top column, and then it start in that column, in the lookup column. It keep going down and look and comparing the value. If it found the values, then it returns the corresponding value from that index column, because in the VLOOKUP we use the vertical table, so we use the columns at the index, and that's where the index is a column index is a parameter. So let's say in the child table based on the lookup value, you want to pick up the value on the third column, then your column index would be 3. Okay, and then this is how the vlookup function knows that okay, roll number 100 is found in the marks table, and then the marks is aligned to the column number 3, then it will pick, it need to pick up the marks, then it will pick up like that way. However, in the hlookup, since the data is aligned in horizontally, it will look for the rows for the lookup value, and then pick up the value from that row to pick up the corresponding value and return it to the main function. Don't worry about this. This definitions, this concept may be seems little technical, a little complicated, conceptual in terms of database, but I will show you in the next screen that how do we make it more easy to understand. And before that, let's just discuss this last point: lookup value and unique value. So I told you that lookup search, or lookup we lookup search vertically in column. The child table should be arranged i in that I such that lookup value column must be in the left side of the indexed column. Viewers, this is really very important point, and people don't know this difference. I have seen in my work experience that people are bothered that way, why my vlookup, I am using the vlookup function correctly, I am using all the parameter, I am writing the names perfectly, however it is not giving me the value. Because what happens is, we need to understand that the child table, the lookup function works vertically, and then if found the value, it looks for the corresponding value towards the right side, not towards the left side. So it cannot go in minus direction, it always go in positive direction, which is the right side. So if you want to pick up, so let's say I had given you example of a marks table, and we want to pick in the master table, we want to pick a marks of the Hindi subject of a student which is available in the child table. We are preparing a master table where we will pick up all the subject marks obtained by a student, and these marks for different subject is available in different child tables. So how this child table should be arranged? In this child table, very first column should be your roll number, and then you should be your name, yeah, then your the maximum marks, and then the marks obtained. Then and only VLOOKUP function will work. It will go and search for that roll number, and it will go towards the right to pick up the number obtained by that particular student. And that is how this similarly the hlookup will work in horizontally, VLOOKUP work in vertically. However, the concept of searching and picking the value would remain same. So broadly, there must be at least two tables. One table will be known as a master table, another table would be called as a child table. Now, in the second mandatory condition, prerequisite condition is that both the table should have a common unique field. Like if it is a student table, both the student table should have a roll number. Means that this the roll number is a unique field, it will not change. It should be available in the master table, and it should be available in the child table also, so that there is a matching point, right? This unique column is a matching point, and based on the searching will happen and lookup function will operate. Okay, and then the method, you already understood the method. Vertical function looks for vertically, and if it found the value, it go and pick up the corresponding value towards the right and then come back. If it is vertically, go towards the right and go down and pick up the value accordingly. And that is how they work. Now let's understand it in a pictorial way so that it will be clear to all of you. Okay, I kept the definition in this slide also. Now let's just look at these two tables. This is not two table but one table. Just look at the upper table. I have kept the master table here. There is a table, I called it as a master table. So there are some roll number of the students here, and then I want to pick up these four columns from another tables which will be known as a child table, and we will see those tables in a while. Let's just understand this. This student name is here, marks in Hindi. So what I want to do is I want to pick up the name of this student based on the roll numbers. This is my lookup value and this is my unique column. Okay, because roll number will not be duplicated, right? One roll number will belongs to one student only, and that's why we call it a unique value or a lookup value column. Okay, and then there is a there are some blank these four blank columns, and the values in these four blank columns will be coming, and we will pick up the values from the for these four columns from the child tables, and let's see how we will get those values here. And and these values are marks in Hindi, marks in English, and marks in math. So these are the subjects, and I want to pick up the marks of these all of these students whose roll numbers is listed here. I will pick up the name from one table. I'll pick up the name, the marks obtained for Hindi subject from one table. I will pick up the marks in English from another table. I will pick up the marks in math from another table. And now in the below, this is the same table, but I just tried to show the how do we write the formulas to get them. If you see the roll number 111, I already picked up this value. So that let's say the roll number 111 name is Praful, and this name came from somewhere else, and marks in Hindi is 99, marks in English is 68, and marks in math is 95. And let's see how did I get these numbers from here. And to get this number, because this there is a teacher assigned for each subject, and these teachers is preparing their subject list. What is the actual numbers the person or the students got in that particular subject is available in individual sheets, which is known as a individual table, which is known as a child table. Let's now look at the child tables. Okay, these are my four tables. One table is a child table. Okay, let's look at this. One is the child table, and this child table name is a student details. This is a kind of master table, another table in which there is basic detail of the student, like their roll number is there, their name is here, so, and their gender is here, their class is here, and there may be some other information which I just left blank because I just wanted to show you that how do we pick up the name from there. But you could have several information like father name, the address of the students, their contact number, their email, etc. These are the primary basic details table of the students. Now I have another three more tables, for one table for each subject. Like for Hindi, for same students, there is another table where maximum marks is there, maximum is always 100, and then what is the marks obtained by this marks is filled by this class teacher for each student and filled in this table. Now similarly we have two more tables, one for marks in English and one for marks in math. Now this is the situation that I now as a master I want to create this master table where I want to know that these are my roll numbers of the students only in this master table as of now, and I want to pick up the name of the students from this any of these tables because the name is available in all these tables, any of the table. I'll pick up it from the student detail table because this is the another authenticated source for the name. Now Hindi marks is available in this table, so Hindi marks should be coming from here, marks for English should become from this table, and marks for math should come from this table. So now I hope that you understood the concept of master table. So master table is nothing but a table where you want to collect or create the information as a master information which may be coming from different tables, those different table which is a subset of those, like the students is same, right? The student is same in the Hindi table also, my student is same in the marks English table also, and in the math table also. But why they are mattering different? Because there are different teacher assigned to each subject and they are managing their subject only. Now I want to collect and create a collection of those information put together, and that's why I will call it a master table. And these individual table which is operating separately, it will be my child table. So the lookup function will always be used in the master table. Child table will just only be used to pick the information from the child table and put it into here. Put this information from the child table here into the master table. Okay, now let's just look at how do we do this. So let's say this information. So let's just look at this. How this table is positioned. Your these row headers, you can call it you can call it column headers, or you can call it the fields, right? In the database terms, you can call it columns or fields. So these fields are vertically aligned. So basically your field names is in the columns, and your record is prepared by one single row. So let's say this is roll number 100. Roll number 100's name is so and so. The marks in Hindi for this student is this. Marks in English for this student is this. And marks for math for this student is this. Like this. For roll number 111, the name of the student is purple. The marks in Hindi is 99. Marks in English is I think 68, and then marks in math is 95. So your columns or your fields is aligned vertically, and one single row is creating a single record. Then it means this data is vertically aligned. Got it? And if this will shift the scenario, then your data would be horizontally aligned. If your data is vertically aligned, let's stick to this example only as of now. This, if you have a data aligned, so similar fashion, your other student table is also aligned like that only. So your master table is also like that, your child table is also aligned that. Now only question that how do we pick up the information from this child table for these particular students only. So there may be 1,000 students in these child tables. I just need to pick up the information for these many students only. I'm sorry, these many students only for now. Let's move on. Okay, so I am picking the name of the students here by putting this vlookup function here. So vlookup. So how do I pick up the lookup function? Equal to vlookup bracket open, then lookup value. What is lookup value? Lookup value is this. This is a lookup column, and this is my lookup value. So I want to pick up the value for roll number 111. So I will give not write 111 here, but I will write this cell reference. You remember we had used the cell reference there. So I will use lookup this cell reference of this comma table array. Table array, I will be selecting this entire table, and then comma the column index number. What is the column I want to do pick value? So my name is in the second column. First column should always be the lookup column, similar, and this would be the similar to roll number is here, roll number is here. So very much comparable tables. We can compare this table based on the roll number and then pick up the value, corresponding value. Like we can pick up the name, we can pick up the gender, we can pick up their class, and then other details if it is available in this student detail table. So as of now we want to pick up the name. So let's look at where the name is. So first table is first column is the lookup column, and the name is available in the second column. So what we will say is column index number would be comma 2. So what I am commanding it here also, and then comma and then 0 and 1. 0 is always for exact value. I mean, so it will go, this function will know that okay, I need to go and look value for student serial roll number 111 in the child table. It will go here and it will start searching from here. 100, okay, it is not, it is not, it is not, it is not, and then it finally reaches here. Hey, it found the roll number 111. It will stop here and see for column index number, and column index number I gave 2. So this column index number will always be 1 where it is looking for value, and then it will go okay, I am here, I need to pick up the value for this student number. But what value I need to pick up? I need to pick up the value name which is available in the column number 2. So that's why it will go here and it will pick up purple from here because it is row column number 2. If I wanted to pick up the gender, I would have given the row column number 3. If I would have wanted to pick up the the class, then I would have probably given the number 3. So this is 1 2 3 4. This will be 3. So I want to pick up the name from 2, that's why column reference number is 2. And then 0 means give me the exact match, give me the name of the student whose roll number is 111. This function will go here, will start looking for 111. It found the 111 here, and it will pick up the corresponding value which is purple in column number 2 and put it here like that. Now let's look at the another. Okay, now I want to pick up the marks in Hindi for the same roll number. Similarly, I will use same function. We look up reference number for student number this, comma table array. Now this time my child table changed because my students Hindi marks table is different, not this one. So I go and select this table entirely, and then I will say that what would be my column reference number this time, because last time my name was in the column number 2, but this time my marks obtained for the students is the column number is different. So let's just count 1 2 3 and 4. This would be 4, so this would be my column reference number would be 4 and 0. So go in the Hindi marks table and look for student roll number 11111. So it will go from here, it will go here, and it will again look for 111. It found it here, and it will go 1 2 3 4, and it will pick up the, it got the value 90, and it will pick up the 90 and return the value 90 here. That's how this functions works. Let's look at the third situation. We need to pick up the English mark. Similarly, for the same roll number, so it will go in the English table. I will select all the table, again the marks in the fourth column. It will go start searching from 111. It found it here. It will go in the fourth column and pick up the 68 from here and putting the 68 here. Similarly, let's look at the last one. If we wanted to pick up the math marks, similarly it will go in the math table. It will start look up the number roll number here, and it will pick up the number, and it will pick up the 90 and putting the value 95, whatever it is here. Okay, it is 95, so it pick up 95. So I hope viewers that from this pictorial view you must be very clear that what is your master table, what is your child table, how how you can identify that your table is aligned vertically or horizontally. The table which I shown you in this example is vertically aligned because my columns or my fields are aligned or assigned to the columns, and one single row is creating my record. If it would have arranged differently horizontally, I mean this roll number would have put like this in a row, and your record is prepared by is identified by a single column, then it would have been considered as horizontally aligned table. Then there is no other difference. Lookup will be exactly like that only, but if your data is aligned horizontally rather than looking it vertically, it will look for horizontally. That's the only difference. I hope viewers with this you are clear that how this lookup function works, and if and I think you are very much comfortable now with the what is master table, what is child table. Can be child table more than one? Of course yes. Can be master table more than once? No, because we are creating a master table just because where we want to use this formula. So wherever you are using this lookup function, this is only called as your master table, though in reality that you have another master table also. Let's not go into that. So the function where you want to pick up the value from other tables is your master table, and from the tables which you will reference to pick up the value is known as your child table. That's it. Let's move on. Okay, now let's begin with the tools and techniques and demonstration section, viewers. Now viewers, let's look at the most interesting the tools and technique and the demonstration part. So tools and technique, tools is our Excel, because this VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions is commonly used in Excel, though they may be used in the programming as well. When we will work with the, the VBA programming of it, we will come to know about it and we'll discuss about it. Let's just look at the same tables we just discussed in our concept talk. This is the same table I talked about this table in our concept talk. This is our master table, and I have listed some roll numbers here, which is starting from 100 to 120, and these are the columns which I want to pick up from my child tables. And these columns are these fields or columns are my student name, marks in Hindi, marks in English, marks in math. You see, this single row is creating one record. My headers or the columns or fields are listed in vertically, right? These columns or fields are listed vertically, and one single row is preparing my record. So let's say the row number 2 belongs to roll number 100, and the name of this roll number 100 is Ramesh. He got 70 marks in Hindi, he got 99 marks in English, and he got 75 marks in math. That is how this row is preparing the record for Ramesh, which is roll number 100. This row number 13, which is for roll number 111 Praful, and this is creating the record for Praful. So I can, by looking at this data or the table, I can very well understand and decide that my this table is aligned vertically. And if I want to pick up the student name, marks in Hindi, English, and math from another table, I should have the table also listed in the same fashion. So this is my primary table for the students, the student detail table, and then we have the child table in Hindi. Viewers, I had told you earlier that you can change the name accordingly of the tables. So I use the name logically here, so that we remember that this is my student table sheet. So this is the basic information of my students, like the roll number is here, name here, gender and class is here, and there are some other additional information we can keep. I just kept them as blank here as of now for demonstration. Then we have a child table, like for Hindi. So this is the table maintained by the Hindi class teacher, and she have put in the marks of 10 by each students here. You remember that in our earlier demo we had given the marks of 10 calculated by formula. Similarly, I did the percentage of marks they got, and then I had calculated the maximum, minimum, and average here, just to the teachers can see that what is the maximum mark a student achieved, which is 98. Minimum got is 39, and average is 77. So not bad. But let's look at the another table, which is the math table. Similarly, the math table is also in the same fashion. Then we have calculated the obtained percentages. Max, minimum, average is also calculated for that particular teacher here. And then we have finally the English table. Okay, these all tables which I discussed, Hindi, math, and English, all are vertically aligned tables, and our master table is also vertically aligned. So to pick up the value of these columns from these tables, we will always use VLOOKUP. Okay, so in vertically aligned table, we'll always use VLOOKUP. So vertic vertically aligned table, that is our first check. If the table is vertically aligned, which function you will use? You will use VLOOKUP to pick up values from child table. These are our identification. And similarly, I have this table, I just changed it into the horizontal format. So here, let's just copy these numbers from here, so we will not spend much time here, and we will just change this to, and same table I aligned it horiz horizontally, just to show you guys the how do we apply the formulas. Okay, let's do it quickly. Okay, See, what is the difference? Here the roll number is vertically aligned, here the roll number is horizontally aligned. And then your other fields names are in this column, and this one single row is representing one record. This record is for student Ramesh, whose roll number is 100. And similarly, if I go right, this number 111. You remember from our demonstration, this roll number 111, his name is Praful. He got the marks 90, 68, 95, if you remember from our demo. Similarly here the roll number 111 for full 90, 68, 90, 68, 65. Let's just remember 90, 68, 65, and let's say roll number 100 is Ramesh, 70, 99, 75, and roll number 100 Naresh, 70, 99. So, and the table, this table is horizontally aligned, this table is vertically aligned. If table is vertically aligned, we will use VLOOKUP. If table is horizontally aligned, we will use HLOOKUP. I hope you understood now when to use VLOOKUP, when to use HLOOKUP. And for this HLOOKUP, I created these tables in a horizontally aligned. So I just shifted the columns. Roll number here is vertically, here is horizontally. Similarly, in all three sheets, I created these tables so that I can show you how do we apply this VLOOKUP. Now let's just look up the formula. So I already shown you that how I did apply this formula to pull the record for full. I already pick up the value for this. Let's apply the same formula here. So I will put equal to VLOOKUP. Okay, which VLOOKUP? And now I want to put the details. Though you guys remember that I don't have to use and apply the formula. I can just drag it down here and it will pick up. And let's just, for example, just pick that value and put it here. Okay, so let me just remove it and show it there. Just remember it's 85, 88 and 90 for Naresh. Okay, and let's do it with the formula. We look up, pick up the value for this roll number, comma, my table array is, and I will always pick it from the uh, student detail tables. And if I'm just selecting the table, entire table, and I just see my name is in the second column, but I can select the entire table, comma, which column name have the name is available in the column 2, and we don't have to read this name when you select this table. See, here it is showing column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. It always told you that where you are in the table, so you don't have to count it manually. Excel will do it for you. Then 2 and comma 0. I'm sorry, let me just put it once again. We look up for this roll number from this child table. Let me select the child table, and then it is comma, from pick up the value from column 2, comma 0. 0 means if I don't pick up anything, it will work, right? And if even if I work comma 0, it will work similarly. Okay, it pick up narrate. Now let's just pick up the marks in Hindi. We look up for this roll number, go to the Hindi table, child table. Now select the entire table, and marks is available in the column number 4. So I will just go and select entire table, and I will say comma, I will say 4 now, not 2, because this time I need to pick up value from column 2. Similarly, let's pick up the value for English. For this number, go to the English table. Similarly, select the entire table and put the 4, because my obtained marks in the uh, column number 4, comma 0, and this, and similarly pick the value for math. I am doing it for the entire record so that you all are comfortable using it like this. So now I don't have to do it manually for all. You can, once you put it for one, you can just drag it, and just remember for purple it was 90, 68, 95. See, 90, 68, 95, right? It pulled automatically. It is filled. Now let's do it for one record for here horizontally. So now instead of VLOOKUP, we will use HLOOKUP. Okay, HLOOKUP for roll number this comma, and go to the table, student detail table. Now this time I will not pick up from here, I will pick up the horizontally aligned table. So I will just go till last. This is my first row, it will look for the roll number here. Second is my second row is my, so this is not column but row, but it is in the second row. So comma 2 comma 0, pick up the name from second row. Okay, Naresis came here. Now let's pick up the marks for Hindi. We look up, comma, for student 1, go to the Hindi table, horizontally aligned table, select the entire table because it will look up for that roll number, and marks is our course roll number 4. Sorry, let me do it once again. Something wrong happened. 101, go to the Hindi table, right? So first is Hindi. Okay, comma 4. Sorry, I write V, not HLOOKUP. That's why it was not working. Now it is working. Now HLOOKUP. We normally use VLOOKUP. That's why it is always. So I am picking the English now. Go to the English table, horizontally aligned table. Again, the marks often is row number 4, comma 0. Marks is here, and VLOOKUP. Sorry, HLOOKUP. Okay. And for this student number, roll number, and go to the math table now. Finally, horizontally aligned table, and again same similarly the numbers are aligned, comma 4 comma 0, and this. See, now let's just compare this what we put picked up vertically. So roll number 100 belongs to Ramesh, roll number 100 belongs to Ramesh. It's just that record here is getting created vertically, horizontally by one row, one record, second row, second record, third record, like this. Here it is record is identified vertically. So roll number 100 record is this, roll number 101 record is this, 102 record is this, right? This. So let's just compare if it is matching. So roll number 100 name is Ramesh, roll number 100 name is Ramesh, roll number 100 got 70 in Hindi, 70 in Hindi, 99 English, 99 English, 75, 75. So see guys, whether you are using a HLOOKUP or a VLOOKUP, these are only related to the data orientation. If your data is oriented in a vertical table, you will pick up and match the values based on the VLOOKUP function. However, if your table is aligned in horizontally, then you will use HLOOKUP function. However, there is no difference in the information is similar, right? The only way that we are using a different function, here we are using VLOOKUP function, here we are using HLOOKUP function. VLOOKUP function looks vertically in the table, it will go here in this table, look for vertically like this, and then pick up purple from here, it will go here like, and then it will go here and for 411 and pick the 45 from here, like a similar way. However, in the HLOOKUP, it will again go in the horizontally aligned table. It will look up for roll number first, and then it will go down and look up for the, let's say, the student name here, the row number 2, like this. So operating, so basically it's only the difference how our data is aligned. Based on that you will decide you will use a VLOOKUP function or you will use a HLOOKUP function. However, their result would be same. It's only that how your data is showing here. Your record is showing horizontally here in a row, or row is representing one record. Here in this horizontally aligned table, your one column is recording one record. This I column is recording one, is representing one record. J column is representing one record. It's only how our information is aligned is the deciding factor. Will you use a VLOOKUP or will we use a HLOOKUP function? However, internally they are working from a search mechanism, going in the reference table, in the child table, picking up the relevant value and taking it back to the master table is same. So the operating under and searching mechanism is same. It's only that what kind of data you are operating on, you will decide which function you will use. Okay, let me show you one more example here. So we applied the formula here. Let me just change this format of this. let me add something here. So you see, sometimes our values in a table is like that. So somewhere the moment I applied this sign here, if you see in the bar, this it is not picking up the value because this is not a number now. This become a text and it will go to the this student detail table here. It has, if you technically if you see the 101 roll number is here and 101 is existing here also, like for Naresh earlier it was picking up the value. Let's just do the control Z. Yeah, it was picking up the value. Now what happened to this? And this is the problem many of the user faces. That is what I am going you to tell you the another technique. Now the only way that the roll number one, now when you picked up the value, we are surprised that why the details, while the details of others students got getting picked up here, why it is not getting picked up for 111. Let's just go and see that if 111 exists here. Oh, 101 is exist here. Yeah, 101 exists here. Then why it is not picking up the value? Sometimes what happen, you viewers, that the format of the lookup value is not matching. This format of this lookup value is a text value. It is a number value, so it will not match. That is where where we were using like this exact match, right? And if I change this from exact match to nearest match, let's just see if it works, but I don't think so it will work, right? Because the format is different. So what is the way to do it? One way is, if you see this kind of sign in the lookup value and because of this you are not able to get that value, you are getting the error code. You will first see that this number exists in your child table or not. If it exists, then see why it is not picking. There may be one reason behind that, maybe that format is not different. So you can just change it like ignore this error, or you can just simply enter, or you can just change this number to, or multiply this number into 1, then it will again change this number to, sorry. So basically what you will have to do is, you will have to just remove this sign from this table. And how do we remove these kind of errors? I will tell you in our future videos, but I just wanted to show you that sometimes the value exists into the child table, but it is not getting picked up in the master table, just because that just because that those two values are not comparable. Why not comparable? Because their format is different. Okay, they were though they were looking at the same value, but their format was internally different. That's why that lookup was not working. It was not identically matching it, and since it was not matched, that's why it returns the error value here. I hope users that you are very much clear about these functions, the lookup functions, the reference functions, and specifically well known as the Vlookup and Hlookup functions. And many people face difficulty and trouble to apply these two functions. I hope that who all will be watching this video would be able to use the lookup functions in a very smoother way, very easy, clear way. And that is what our intent as ThinkEduEra. At ThinkEduEra, that we provide you some skill which you can use in your daily life, whether it's your professional life, personal life, into your business, or you want to drive any value of it. So what is the value do we get from this? What is the outcome? So one benefit or the outcome of the using the VLOOKUP function, that you have the data sets, various data sets into different places, and you want to match them to compare them at holistically. You use the the HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP function, and once you have built that master database, you can drive a lot of value from that. Then, like from this example, principal of the school or the class teachers of their classes can look at this master database, and they can know that okay, Hindi teacher knows the marks of their students in Hindi subjects. English teachers knows the marks of their students in English subject. And someone knows about the mathematics, someone knows about geography, someone knows about history, because they are related to those particular subjects. However, if I am a principal of the college, I need to have the holistic view that, or the class teacher of that student need to have a holistic view that, what a student is doing in other subjects, and holistically what number, if a student is overall comparing the numbers obtained in all the subject is getting passed this year or not, what percentage he or she is achieving, what division they are falling into. So we can derive a lot of conclusive facts and the actionable facts from this, like, we can come to know that, who is the students who got the maximum mark, who is the students who is lacking and coming into the fourth quartile, and they can prepare the actions to improve the performance of those students. They can do focus much more on those students, or who are not doing well. What they can do is, like, if there are 100 students in total, 25 are doing in the top bracket, then 50 is in the middle bracket, then last 25 in the another bracket. Probably what they can do is, when they know that who are the top 25, who are the bottom 25, they can assign those top 25 as the mentor to these 20 bottom quarter 25, and that's how these 25 students can help them improve these 25 bottom quarter students. So these kind of insights, outputs, or values you can drive from those, applying those techniques, and then you can drive actions out of that. So I hope that with this student's example, you probably know that, how powerful these lookup functions are, and how we can utilize these functions to compile the scattered information into different places into the master database, and that master database we can further analyze to take out a lot of values, actions, or action plans to perform better, or to create the actions for the futures, to improve the overall performance of your school, of your college, like that only. So viewers, if you like today's videos, please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and give us and continue encouraging us, so that we can come as a come with a holistic view, where you learn the concept first, then you come and learn the tools and techniques, and finally we take you through the demonstration, and we finally talk about the storytelling, and how you can drive value out of it, how you can use those insights to further apply. Like for this student example, we know that who are top performer, who are low performer, and then we can decide some actions, like, we are doing the mentoring, like, these 25 top performing students will mentor these 25 low performer students, and so that they can improve in the future, and we can continue we can have more focus on these low performing students, and we can the second quartile, which is the 50% of the population is on the average performing, we can further try to improve their performance, on putting some bit of lever on this, because if you encourage those 50% people who is sitting in the middle bracket may be performing well, and they next time they may be falling you are in the top bracket. And overall, once you do all of these actions, maybe your school may be the number one in the future, maybe your students may come as the number one in the states, or in the country as well. So I hope that this video was helpful. This is Chris. Thank you so much, and you are watching me at ThinkEduEra. Thank you. Thank you so much.